As we edge towards the conclusion of yet another Premier League season, a decisive weekend, probably at the bottom of the Premier League table with two games with teams in and around that dreaded relegation drop zone. A 7-goal thriller in Croydon as well, which I'm not particularly pleased about. But Sean, do you like a bit of whoa? Because I do.
No, only if you're winning. Only if you're doing well is that acceptable.
How are you, mate? All right?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, just back from a lovely weekend away. So,
Where'd you go?
We went to Tenby in Pembrokeshire.
Where's that? Down, up or down? I don't know. Where is
Wales?
Wales, I see.
Yeah,
mate. There you go. See, so you can tell I didn't take geography at GCSE.
That is the beautiful part of Wales.
Lovely.
Tenby is an amazing place.
Very good. Very good. Right, let's see who's joining us in the chat. Michael, Alan Marin, Spotty getting off Tim's plane for talk. Sully, do it now, employ him before Liverpool. What a coup that is. Yeah, I'll discuss that when we get on to West Ham. I'll discuss that more than the game because it's a bit more exciting to talk about, to be honest. But hello to everybody. Larry, Terry, I hope everybody is well. I don't get why Liverpool are being linked with Mourinho over Almiron. Make it make sense. Imagine if Mourinho went up there. That would make me laugh. Josh's granddad is in, and so is Josh. How are you, mate?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Just a few technical issues. I've clicked the wrong StreamYard link, so
don't worry. Really, what he was doing, he was just calming himself down because they're on the Champions League charge, our Villa.
Yeah.
I know. Get on with it. Terry says we've got a 7-goal thriller to discuss. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, somebody get us a beach towel because we are well and truly on the beach. Two teams not on the beach. Well, they probably are actually. At Bramall Lane, Sheffield United 1, Burnley 4. Burnley are having a bit of a go towards the end of the season. They picked up a few points. Forest on the final day. You never know. Stranger things have happened. I haven't got an order for this, so who wants to do this game? Any takers?
I'll take it.
Go on then.
Can you get a little league table up on the screen or anything like that? Is you technical enough for that?
That's all right. This is very demanding you are today.
I know. Okay. I can't. I've lost track of how the points are looking down the bottom.
I can. Give me a couple of seconds.
Like I know one of us will probably come on to the Luton game in a minute as well, but
yeah,
this similar to the Luton result would have to go down as an appalling result for the home side.
Yeah.
Right, where are we at there then?
So points are on the left. Points
okay.
are 16 points, 23 points, 25 points.
Yeah, it looks like Brentford have clawed out after a few results here and there. We sort of thought they might be struggling a little bit. Everton probably after that win probably enough. You said about Burnley, but what they there? They're still they got Forest last game.
3 points adrift. Yeah.
I don't know what their running's like, but
it's not good apart from Forest. They've got to play you lot, I think, haven't they, or something? And then Man United and
they don't beat many teams unless they're one of the terrible sides.
Yeah,
beating Sheffield United, they had to do that. That's probably. I don't know, not very good at maths, but can't imagine that Sheffield United have got many weeks left. I wouldn't have thought.
No, well, to be fair, I think the eternal surprise is they haven't been relegated yet. I mean, they're on 16, so they're 10 points adrift. So I can't be asked to do the maths, but they can't be too many weeks away. So look, Burnley a convincing win away from home, but in the end, is it going to count for anything? Can you see any possible way, especially with that Luton result, Sean? Can you see any possible way that any team but the bottom three go down currently?
Obviously, I haven't got the run-ins in front of me, but I'll be honest, I've been kind of waiting for us to pick up a few more points than they have. I thought they've got enough quality in the squad to get a few, maybe the odd win or 2 or 3 draws just to cement their spot. So they are still lingering down there. But when push comes to shove, I think it'll probably still be the bottom 3 who we basically condemned on the first day of the season. But I think we'll probably look back on the season really probably the worst 3 promoted sides ever. I know Luton have had a go and they've had their little fans, but when they go and get
their little fans,
well, yeah, I think we get adhered to like a plucky side that sort of have a go a little bit, especially when they're a lesser name. But ultimately, when we'll get on to them, but their result of the weekend. that's when in my opinion, the sympathy sort of runs out a little bit, because that's when they got to step up to the plate and they just folded. Like, I think eventually the quality usually tells, but no, it doesn't every year, but the quality of those three teams are just way, way off. And I've been saying it, well, I just think Forest will probably they'll just sneak a win somewhere, and that'll probably be enough.
Just about. So let's move on to the other game taking place this weekend in the relegation battle. And Josh, will come over to you. Luton 1, Brentford 5. Now, I've been quite an advocate. I've wanted Luton to stay up all season. I've been quite vocal of that. But I saw this result on Saturday and went, yeah, you can't defend that. Look, Brentford aren't too many points above them in the league, and they've been battered at home 5-1. Probably the day where all Luton fans admit and resigned to relegation. Unfortunately, it seems like a tough task for the Luton side now.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they had a good sort of spell, 3 month spell between around December and February, where they started giving a few decent teams a game. I was at 4-4 at Newcastle, 4-0 at home to Brighton, and just about lost to Arsenal. That was like a good period for them. But since then, I believe they've won one, I think, since something like the start of February. And that was the last minute winner against Bournemouth the week, which apparently they were very lucky in. We've said it every time, come on, they'd give it a very good go. To be fair to them, obviously, ridiculous low budget. Maximum transfer was £5 million on a player who hasn't really played at all. Some from the Championship, so the best signings have more been the freebies, Barkley, Townsend. But yeah, you just can't defend that when you get battered against a side like that at home. I think this is probably a must-win for them. You're playing a side who are still sort of scrapping in there for relegation, Brentford. I think if you want to stay up, these are the games that you have to be winning. All home games should be competitive in, and especially against relegation rivals. And I think that all but secures Brentford's safety now. And as for Luton, they are still 1 point behind, so they're always going to be in the shout. But I just think after a result like that, if you compare the two squads, Forest and Luton have got, Forest, look at the money they spend compared to Luton and the quality of players that they've got. It's very, very different. But there is only 1 point. That's just 1 point between them. That's what they're still hanging on to. Obviously, Forest have appealed a point deduction, so it could be less. No one knows what's going on, but at the moment, it's a point. So they have got that to hang on to. But I think even if they were above Forest, now I'd probably still back Forest with. After a result like that. But as for Brentford, they've been playing with better last few weeks. They got a draw away at us, and then I think they won last week as well, and then obviously a good result today. And I believe they've been doing it without Tony as well. I think he's been injured. I think Burma, Wissa, and that Sharda, who was there last season, he's come back from injury as well. Lewis Potter, who they got from Hull, as a good young player. He looks like he's breaking through now as well. So it looks like they're finishing the poor season strongly. Brentford, I think they could be one who will struggling next season. And looks like Tony will be on his way. Not going to spend massively, I don't think, to replace him. So they could be one who struggle next season. But they're absolutely finishing the season strongly. And it looks like that's all but secured their safety now.
So just to create a hypothetical here to bring this back up on the screen. So let's flip this game on its head. Let's say Luton win. They win 1-0. They go up to 28. Brentford are only on 32, mind. But all of a sudden, 28 points then takes them above Nottingham Forest. And Forest are in the relegation zone. Luton have still got to play West Ham, by the way, which is guaranteed 3 points. And they've got, and arguably out of the guys down there, they've probably got the easiest run in out of all of them. And Terry's put it in the chat here. So Luton have got to play us, Wolves, Everton and Fulham as their final games. There's no big boys in there, so they could hypothetically be in every game. It's a massive game. I tell you what, if Luton won at the weekend, they would have been banging with a chance. They've still got a glimmer of hope, but look, they didn't do themselves any favours on Saturday, that is for sure. Let's take some more of your comments. Here we go. What's he said here? Don't worry, Josh, I usually have to tell you. To be fair, Josh, you shouldn't be making technological errors like that. Were you sat on last week's StreamYard link or something?
I was, yeah.
With nothing there. With nothing happening.
My mum usually sends she sends a different one every week, and I've hit the wrong one. So yeah, that was sitting there and I realised.
Rookie error. Rookie error. Josh still looking for the Champions League spot. Yeah, we'll have a little look at the top half of the table, of course. Spurs had a weekend off, which I'm sure Sean didn't like because he likes their team playing 16 times a week, which doesn't help some of us. But let's take some more comments. But I tell you what, Man City are in trouble on the final day. If Man City need a point on the final day, they got West Ham at home, so they're going to struggle big time. Yeah, Paqueta might turn up for that game as his little audition ahead of his move to Man City in the summer. Budgie, thanks for joining us. Hope you're well. Josh, don't be bigging Brentford up. Remember, Everton play them next Saturday at Goodison. See, there's your telling off, Josh. Be quiet. Ryan, thanks for joining us as well. Hope you're well. Right, you can talk about your North London neighbours now, Sean. Wolves 0, Arsenal 2. Potential banana skin not come of anything, and Arsenal looked relatively comfortable, I thought, from the bits that I saw.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I down as one of the tricky away games they had left. I think they've had 2 or 3 left. We said before, Wolves, you never know really what you're going to get. I call the first half of this, because this literally come on straight after the FA Cup semi-final, didn't it? Literally, I turned my head for 2. I actually watched the semi-final, went to the toilet, missed the goal, come back, it ended, and then I turned around, and they're putting the teams up for this game. I thought, what's going on? It's a Saturday evening game I'm not a fan of, to be honest.
Do you not like him? No?
Not really. I'd like it better than the Sunday evening one. That's a shocker.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I think a bit of a traditionalist. I like the English football to be done by tea time, and the Saturday evening is more like your Spanish sort of football, really. That's the way I look at it, but I know times are changing, and we got to get used to these games at city times and all that. From what I've seen, Arsenal was surprisingly very professional. Wolves had a few chances, but I felt like Arsenal were always in control of it. I think they scored just before halftime. I think that was when I went out or moved on from where I was. But yeah, I was on a bit of a pub crawl by that point. I had my tea and I was moving on. Obviously after what happened in the midweek and that, which probably a lot of people half expected as well, in Europe, I think it was quite a good result for Arsenal. And I think that I know Team City have got a game in hand, but I think that was a very good result, and it might just sort of settle them back down for the running. I'm not sure they're going to fold like a deck of cards like they did last year, because last year, that one bad result, just about 3 or 4 just followed it. Don't think that's going to happen this year. I think they'll take a bit more confidence from this.
Yeah, it seemed like quite a big game, like a must-not-lose game to sort of put the pressure on City, who didn't play this weekend. Both Liverpool and Arsenal had to do that, and I think watching some Arsenal videos, they said they can't be 4 points ahead of Man City by the time they play next, which is where they want to be to give themselves the best chance. Look, their mentality was tested in this game. Wolves had a hell of a lot of players out. We know a few Wolves fans, and they were concerned about how many players they've had out, and look, they got over the line after consecutive defeats against Villa, well done, Josh, and against Munich midweek. It tested them, and they came out and prevailed with the 3 points. Let's take some more of your comments. Just seen the photo, usual, hope you're well, of the sporting manager getting on a plane. Hope it's genuine. We'll discuss that in just a second. Everyone else saying hello to each other as well. Next up, tread carefully here, Josh. Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 0. And include I tell you what, they've done another 2 statements today, Nottingham Forest. Their admin sat there writing out essays all day to put on Twitter. Another 2 tweets regarding the refereeing decisions have come out from the Nottingham Forest official account after the one that went ballistic last night. Look, I think we can all agree they were hard done by to an extent. Discuss the game and the aftermath and the stupidity of these tweets. Oh, is that me? I can't hear him. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I forgot my mic was on mute. Anyway, Forest, they have been quite hard done by this season. Them and Wolves, I think they've had the most out of anyone. Dodgy decisions, but to say that the officials are Luton fans, you can't be saying that. Like, you could at least say, I don't know, it's corrupt or something. But to say that a Luton fan is, I didn't expect that. I've heard Jamie Carragher saying that's something you'd say to your mate in the pub or something, which, it literally is. They've just completely lost the plot. And the fact that they've hired Clattenburg in as a, what is it, to help them understand decisions.
A refereeing analyst.
Yeah, I don't see how that's improved because they've just been getting even worse. They have been quite hard done by, but to say that it's not going to do you any favours. As for the game itself, Ashley Young, the most clumsiest defender in the world, there's a few of them, like the handball, which I think they've definitely been given before. They're not behind his back. I don't think it's right if they get given, but 9 times out of 10 these days they are given. So he got away with that one. There was a few others just clumsy defending where he just dangled a leg out, and again you've seen him given. I don't think any of them were blatant, but it's about consistency, isn't it? And I think all 3 of them have definitely been given before, but it's sort of balanced itself out because Everton have also one of them teams that have been quite hard done by this season. I mean, I suppose you could say that about all teams, but I just think Forest and Wolves, it seems like they seem to have won every week. But as for the game itself, I didn't watch too much of it. Idrissa Gana Gay scoring his 1 goal in about 6 years.
I thought you went to this game, Josh. I thought this was the one you were in
No.
attendance, or was that last week?
I was supposed to, but I didn't realise we were playing at the same time.
So he bailed on it.
I told my granddad, no, you take your brother because I wasn't missing our game. But
unbelievable.
Yeah, it seemed a decent performance for Everton. From what I did see, obviously had to be improved after the shocker last week. I know we were all saying that before they gave Chelsea a game. It didn't quite pan out that way, but there was definitely a good response. They looked like they were keeping the ball a bit better as well. Andre Gomez coming into the team, who hasn't really played too much this season, but he sort of dictated the tempo. But it's 2 poor sides, really. I think it was a must-win for Everton. They were probably the favourites going into being at home. As for Forest, I still think they'll be fine, just because of the poor teams, the league behind them. As Sean said, it probably is the worst 3 teams that have ever come up. With the money Forest have spent in the place they've got, you'd like to think they'd stay up, especially compared to these teams who've come up. But yeah, as for the game itself, it seemed a bit of a poor game. Everton kept the ball. Forest didn't really threaten too much apart from the penalty shouts. But yeah, them tweets not going to do them, so not going to do them any favours.
No, there was the tweet that blew up last night, and there's been a further 2 tweets today consisting of 8 paragraphs of Nottingham Forest thinking they're going to get anywhere. And honestly, I read that last night and went, look, you can be unhappy with decisions or all you like, but the last 2 sentences summed up for me. We warned the PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. Nottingham Forest will now consider its options. I think Gary Neville said it yesterday. What exactly are their options? Like, have a moan? Like, what else are they going to do? Like, nothing's going to happen. Ridiculous. They're going to have a hefty fine and a tarnished reputation after that, after the antics of the weekend. I think it was just utterly bizarre, if I'm totally honest. Grandad says Everton have been hard done by 4 penalties all season. One of them was against us and you missed it. We only got our first penalty awarded 4 weeks ago, and now in total we've had 2 all season. Yeah, the PGMOL probably wheeled out a fine for Forest today, and then another one for the 2 statements today as well. I mean, you've got a former referee on the books at Forest telling them or translating why a decision has been given. Like, why are they doing that? Like, what? It's just, cannot get my head around it. Cannot get my head around it. Here we go. Look, Josh's little brother went to Goodison for the 3rd time this season and he hasn't seen them lose. So Josh is banned.
Yeah, well, I've only seen them lose once as well. But
point scoring now. Point scoring. Right, let's move on to the West Ham game, shall we? Crystal Palace 5, West Ham 2. Look, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm not going to talk about it too much. I can't be asked, to be honest. Again, another day at the office where we've got probably the most defensive manager in the league, leaking goals for fun. This season, we've conceded 4 away at Villa, 6 at home to Arsenal, 5 away at Fulham, 5 away at Palace, and I'm sure I've missed one as well in there. 4 away at Newcastle. The list goes on. apart from the bottom three, we've let in the most amount of goals in the whole of the Premier League this season. Playing that brand of football, it's laughable the amount of goals we're conceding. Look, Mavropanos is injured, I get that. Ogbonna, he's not up to the task, unfortunately. And Agur's injured, so it was the only option that we really had there. The squad's down to the bare bones. The squad is awful, but that's by design. It was Moyes' decision to let go 3 players in January, not replace them. He could have kept hold of them, and we could be in a better position now as a result of it. But in terms of the game, we crumbled from defensive error to goalkeeping error, and we never recovered from it really. And it got toxic in there for about 5 or 10 minutes when it was 4-0 down. And the fans just went, I don't care. A few left and a few just said, let's have a laugh about it. And fair play, because I quite enjoyed it. Palace fans were getting rather angry that we were, celebrating their goals, which is quite funny. And apart from that, another bad day at the office. It seems like the natural end of David Moyes' tenure is coming. And look, whoever the manager rumours that have come out today, any manager rumour is a good rumour, because it means it's one step closer to Moyes leaving at the end of the season. These rumours don't just begin from every outlet. I mean, David Ormsby from The Athletic is usually a pretty reliable source. He's come out with it. So there's been plenty about the sporting manager this afternoon going into this evening, which is positive. It means we're one step closer to David Moyes leaving the football club. Sean, any thoughts?
Not a lot on the game, really, mate, to be honest. It's just a bigger picture for West Ham. I think I've done a few tweets on X, if that's what it's called nowadays, in the last couple of days since the European exit. And I think, was it end of last week, you were still putting posts out about possibly like what we need to get in the Europe. I think you're crying out for no Europe next season. I think the squad, is it the oldest or second oldest squad in the league?
Probably.
I even read that you were on about giving Ogbonna and Fabianski new contracts. I know you said Ogbonna, he's 36, 37 or something like that. You've got 39, yeah. I think of your captain next to him. I don't think even are mobile enough. Obviously, you've got Cresswell coming in out the side still. You're not a very mobile side if you take away your 2 rapid wingers. I'm reading in the last people are almost turning their back on Paqueta a bit, saying he's down tools a little bit.
No, he has, yeah.
So when you look at all of this and you think, to me, the club needs a big reset. And I know you've got your interview. Well, apparently it looks genuine. This Amaram from Lisbon has come over to have an interview at least with you. Maybe he's been interviewed by other clubs as well. I'm not sure. What are they going to tell him? That's what I'm thinking. Because he's done well in Portugal. Do you know what I mean? Let's not jump on the bandwagon too quick. He's done what is probably expected if you're a Sporting Lisbon manager. He's probably done the bare minimum. Let's be honest. I'm not saying he's not. He's only 39. He's highly thought of. But what are West Ham offering him to go in there? Obviously, it's a ticket to the Premier League. That's one thing they're offering him. And whether West Ham
probably free reigns to everything to get him there. To be honest, you can do what you like, mate. We'll tell him.
Yeah, it's a lot of players and a lot of managers want to come to our league. We haven't shown that we're the strongest league in Europe this season by a long stretch, but they still want to come, and we're the big ticket. But for West Ham, I'm looking at, if you want a young, progressive, highly thought of manager, what are you going to offer him to drag him away from probably one of the biggest 2 jobs in Portugal in his homeland? Like, in my eyes, if Paqueta's going, they're going to say, there you go, you can have 100 million to spend. But you probably need to buy 2 centre-backs with that for starters. Probably you've been crying out for a striker for
10 years, 15 years. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking, if they're sat down with him, what are they going to tell you? What are they going to offer him? That's what I'm thinking, because I think no Europe is an essential this year, because your team, you probably need to shift out 6 or 7 probably. Don't forget, Moyes has been there a while now, and he's, whether you like Moyes or not, I've slated him for a long time for his style. He's built that squad, small as it is, experienced it is, to suit David Moyes. That squad is not going to suit a young, progressive 39-year-old coach. Do you know what I mean? So that squad, whoever comes in next, unless it's someone like Moyes, like a bit more of an old sort of head, British possibly, it needs a hefty rebuild. If you're going to go and lose your moody talisman in Paqueta, which I'll be honest, this is probably always going to happen. As soon as the season had died, and he'd always probably had one eye on Man City since the interest come out. When was it, last summer, when he was high-fiving Pep on the bench and all that stuff? In his head, that's probably the beginning of the end for his West Ham career. He probably had one little eye on that from that moment onwards, if not before. So in my head, I know I've said that Tottenham probably could have done with Europe, having more games this year, because we're playing Arsenal at the weekend and we haven't had a game for 15 days before playing them. And we lost one of our better players this season in pre-season to a career in training to a season-ending injury. So it's not been a good time off. For your lot, I think you're crying out for a season away from that extra game, because you do need probably 5 or 6 to come in, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Let's some comments before we move on. Josh, you're on a Goodison part ban, and just thinking a Goodison part there. I mean, just to add to, I don't need to make the point anymore to any of you watching or you two on air that I think we've won 4 games this calendar year. We're nearly in May. And 2 of those, one of them was away at Goodison Park where Everton should have been out of sight before we even scored. And the other one was Wolves, where you could argue we were pretty fortunate a few weeks ago as well. We comfortably put away an awful Brentford side, and I think we've won another one, or it might just be 3 wins. I don't know. They've been hard to come by, and it's been painful as we've limped over the line. Moyes to Anfield, I'd love nothing more. Wouldn't that be funny? But yeah, tell you what, with Liverpool, it seemed like they put all their eggs in Xabi Alonso, and he's went, no thank you, by the sounds of it. And now what are they going to do? Hopefully the same happens to what happened at Man United all those years ago, Ferguson. Wouldn't that be hilarious if they went on a banter era? Because they're due one of them, I think. Terry says, I don't blame Moyes. He's given this 55-year-old West Ham fan 3 of the best seasons of my life. The players have chucked it. Poor performances all season. You can put some of the blame on Moyes, you can put some of the blame on the players. Collectively, it's been unacceptable this season. There's no doubt about that. Our average age is nearly 29. Everton will welcome Moyesy with open arms. When the deal's done, you can have him. Have him. I'll drive him up there. I will drive him up there. And I don't even have a license. So, have him. Absolutely have him. Any truth on the Amorim rumours? Apparently, I suppose so. For all that we know, looks like it. I don't want any more players whose ambition is to play in Europe. I want players who want to play for West Ham. Is Klopp leaving? I don't know. Is he? No one's mentioned it. Right.
I did quite like that comment just then about wanting players who want to play for the club and not Europe.
Yeah.
Because that was a question by one of the journalists put to Angie the other week about, do you need Champions League quality players? Because he's not interested in that. It's all about the character that comes, that they want to come to the club. It doesn't matter where they are. It's all about the future. That's what fans need, really. And it's hard. It's hard because Paqueta, for example, he was a Brazil international when he was signed. Obviously, if some of the bigger clubs didn't fancy him, or they would have gone for him as well. Yeah. But the unfortunate thing is, if you're a club of a certain level in the Premier League, some of these players coming from a foreign land will treat you a bit like a stepping stone. And it's hard to take, but at some point they'll just chuck the toys out. And if they can just flutter their eyelashes, especially on the continent, some of the agents are ridiculous. They will not care one bit. Some of them, even at my club, they've openly said, about a week after we've signed the player, oh, we've got high ambitions for our player to go and play for like Real Madrid, but they've only just signed for. So agents don't care. They just do not care. I don't know if Paqueta's agent is, but in his mind, he was never staying at West Ham long in his ambition. So it's hard to take his fans unless you're one of the very, very top, 2 or 3 clubs in the world. You're literally a stepping stone if you've got good players. So
yeah, absolutely. Josh, are you there?
Yeah, I am. I was just getting the charger because my phone was battered.
Oh, what a nightmare tonight. He's clicked on the wrong link. He ain't got his charge on. Come on then. Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 1. Now got yourself into a position. Spurs 2 games behind, 6 points behind. So if they slip up, you are there, Josh.
Yeah, I think we can go 9 points clear before Tottenham next play, because I believe is it a Sunday is play in into Arsenal next week. So I think we can go 9 points clear, even though you'll have 3 games now. But I think psychologically that'll be very good for us. But yeah, as for the performance yesterday, I thought, considering we went 120 minutes on Thursday night and penalties, I thought it was a superb performance, especially second half. It didn't show any signs of being tired at all. And every player, again, just like the Arsenal game, they put a shift in that you can't knock anyone. Morgan Rogers, he was only bought for £8 million from Middlesbrough. He was playing in Man City reserves this time last year, but he's just been superb for us. He's just adapted to the Premier League so quickly. Ollie Watkins, I don't know how he didn't score yesterday. He absolutely had. Zabani on toast all game. He completely bullied him. 2 assists. I think he's now the top, got more assists than anyone else in the league. I think he's 2 ahead as well as being second top scorer. Although some people think Tony should still go to the Euros over him. It makes me laugh, to be honest. What more does need to do with end numbers? But it was a superb performance. We can see the dairy from a stupid penalty. Matty Cash diving in, there was no need. But apart from that, we managed to turn it around and we go 1-0 down at home to teams like that. You probably always still back us this season with how good our home form's been. It has dipped a bit second half of the season, but obviously we know last season we went a 15-game win home run end of last season and start of this season. So we definitely have the quality to do that again, and we're coming from behind a lot more now as well. We were clinical yesterday, which I've seen a lot more under Emery. I've mentioned it a few times. And yeah, we're doing this about so many key players. Kamara, Louise, they're probably we're our 2 best players. Both played in midfield. They're both out. We've been about Wendy and Mings all season. Moreno's out again. Ramsey's he's had his season has been destroyed by injuries. He's played about 5 or 6 games. He can't get into any rhythm. He's now out for the season again. So we've just had quite a few injury problems, but which have gone under the radar a lot more than other teams, and yet we're still 4th. And I just think we haven't really had a fully fit team all season. And I just wonder where we'd be if we did have a fully fit team, because we're missing 5 or 6 key players who got us into Europe last season, and the starting 11 now isn't filled with that many new signings. Diaby, he doesn't play that much. The only really new ones are Tielemans and Rogers, because Torres has also been injured quite a bit this season. So yeah, yesterday, considering we played 3 days before, it was a top performance. And I think if you look at our running now compared to Spurs, you'd probably back us. But Spurs, they've got a good record at home to City, they're at home to Arsenal. You'd probably back them to get something in that one too. And then Liverpool away, Liverpool that could have nothing to play for by then. Who knows if Everton do them, and then psychologically it might not be great.
If Everton do them, wow.
Never know, it's a possibility. It won't be easy for them. But I don't know when Spurs play them. If it's close to the end of the season, who knows? They might be out of the title race by then, is what I'm saying. I don't know how many games they've got before Spurs play them. But yeah, hard running, it's not exactly easy. We've also got Liverpool last home game, got Chelsea at home, where you just don't know which Chelsea is going to turn up. So it's not going to be easy, but you probably have to back us now. It doesn't look like 5th's going to get you Champions League football anymore after the English teams bottled it apart from us.
Don't blame us. We're the best team in Europe. Blame Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Thank you.
Yeah, not West Ham. But yeah, every English team apart from us went out. So it's not. I think there is still a possibility. Something ridiculous.
What's that competition you're in? That European? What is it, Sean? Some 3rd tier. I don't know what it is. Nobody's really bothered, are they?
Yeah, no, I'm sure I was bothered. Anyway, yeah. What was I on now? Oh yeah, I think there is still if Villa win the Conference League and all the German teams go out in the semi-finals, I think there's still a slight possibility I've heard, but I don't know. I think we need to score more goals, win 5 or 6 of them as well. It's very minimal the chances now. So yeah, we need to get top 4 if we want that Champions League. But yeah, it was a top performance yesterday.
There we go. Well, we've got 2 more away days to sing Champions of Europe. We know what we are. Then next year, unfortunately, we're going to have to pick selectively and sing Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that to the clubs that haven't won a European trophy. So I'm going to enjoy Chelsea and Man City away, especially Chelsea away. Champions Europe, we know what we are. See if any of the prawn sandwich brigade next to the away end react to that one. That will be mildly amusing. Let's take some of your comments. The reason why Moyes is to blame, says Trini, that many forget is his insistence on playing the same favourites week in, week out, and wondering why they run out of steam. Exactly. West Ham actually have a habit of selling the players that actually want to play for West Ham, literally. Literally. 5th, only good for Europa. Spurs don't like that cup. Didn't they pull out? No. They pull out of the conference, but they still think they're too good for the Europa League as well. So they won't really. Will you sort of bother with the Europa League if you get that next year, Sean?
It's a strange one this year because I said right before we kicked off, the league was not really that important this year. It was just need to show better style, and there's a long process to rebuild. So we're probably ahead of schedule. No one expected us to be 5th. I think a lot of people thought we would be close to the mid-table. We're about where I thought we'd be. I told you we'd be like outsiders in a little bit. I'm not. I'll be honest. I've never been. Tottenham had a lot of years in the Europa League, trying to get in the Champions League spot, and fans really craved it this year because of what I've said a minute ago. I'm not sensing it. A lot of them don't really want the Champions League this year. Almost like we're not ready.
You want the banging whoa music at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, then, do you?
I just don't. I don't really think Villa are ready for the Champions League yet, but they probably deserve it more than most. But Tottenham are definitely not ready for it. I think they play in patches too much. They'll get destroyed against a decent team. But I do think I thought every single one of the English sides are very poor in Europe. I thought Villa were quite fortunate to get through their game. I thought your fans probably thought a bit too much of your effort in midweek as well. I thought you did okay for about 40 minutes, going a bit more old school, trying to rough them up a bit and played not bad here and there. The rest of them, really surprised how bad Liverpool went out. Do you know what I mean? I thought they'd have gone for that cup. Arsenal just did Arsenal things. Do you know what I mean? So it's not been a good year for Europe, and I don't even think the Champions League this season is that strong.
No,
like it's not the greatest Real Madrid side it's been for a long time. They're sort of building up. If they get Mbappe next year, that's the next stage of their rebuild. Do you know what I mean? It's not the strongest comp. There's a lot of huge names that were never even in it. So next year, yeah, I'm not a fan of Thursday football. I'll be honest, I'm just not. I don't even like my team playing Sundays a great deal, if I'm being totally truthful. Do you know what I mean? I know that's the nature of the beast of TV, but Thursday, Sunday, I'm not a fan of it. But I do, like I said before, I do think this year we have lacked match sharpness. Playing one game a week, one game a fortnight, one game every 10 days. We've looked like it's gone against us when we played some games. I really believe that. So it might help Andy's rebuild a little bit. I think he's got
Pochettino, he nearly said then.
Yeah, I did. Right. I was thinking of Chelsea when you're on about it a minute ago. But no, I'll entertain Thursday football if
he'll entertain it. There we go. That's all I want. He'll entertain it. There we go.
I'll entertain it, but I don't know. We've never gone deep into the competition. I don't know.
Well, that's why you don't like it then, because you've never gone on and got close.
I don't know. I just don't think the owner warrants the competition. I don't think he sees much benefit in it. If I'm honest, he never really has, and I think that rubs off on whoever the manager is. I just don't think the players have gone out into that competition with an ambition to win it. I just really, really don't. It's just not. It hasn't been in the nature of the club. I don't. It might sound bad, and that will frustrate a lot of fans, but I've never really seen it. We've even rotated the team. We've gone strong. We've gone weak. We've put kids out. We've had the same outcome. So if we qualify, we should qualify for it now. I'll be amazed if we go deep into it. I just don't think we'll take it that serious.
There we go. Well, just to finish off, Fulham 1, Liverpool 3, Liverpool 1. Back on track. a tricky game on paper. You never know what the Fulham side are going to turn up. And they got one back just before half time to make things a little bit interesting. A couple of good goals from Liverpool, actually. I think I saw a Trent Alexander-Arnold free kick, which was rather pleasing on the eye. So look, Liverpool and Arsenal did what they needed to do this weekend and just instilled that little bit of pressure, just a tap on the shoulder to Manchester City entering the final 4 or 5 games of the season. We will wrap things up there. Sean and Josh, thank you very much. Indeed, as always, not many game weeks left now. Any final thoughts, Josh?
Not too much. It's going to be an interesting run, absolutely. I think there's a few midweek games this week. I know there's the Merseyside derby. Not sure what else, but
Chelsea, Arsenal, tomorrow night, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, wasn't too many games either this weekend, was there? Because FA Cup. So it's been an interesting one.
Yeah. And my final question to you, Sean. Surely you'd like a decent run in Europe, go somewhere nice like, Amsterdam or Cyprus or,
Yeah, every fan wants a deep cup run, do you know, in any cup. Would it win the world to me to win the Europa League? No.
But it would take away, was it 2005? That would take away that banter.
Yeah, I know, but you'd love to win. You'd love to win anything. You'd love to win the League Cup, but I think the League Cup should be abolished. Do you know what I mean? So it's a strange one. Yeah, I'd love to win any trophy, but I think the whole nature of it revolving around the Premier League and the Champions League means a lot of the other trophies need a bit of a rejig. I've always thought that. Yeah, revamp. Like
even the FA Cup this weekend. I didn't even know the games were going on till Friday.
They're all slowly just dying very slowly, which puts the focus more on the Champions League and the Premier League. So it takes more away from the other cups. And I don't know. I think it's the nature of the beast. I think a lot of people are just not as excited about the 3-4 lesser cups as what they maybe should be. They should have bigger prestige behind them. The Europa League, I love it. Still, it sounds petty. Call it the UEFA Cup still. It's probably the nicest looking trophy in club football, the UEFA Cup. Do you know what I mean? So it deserves more. It deserves more behind it. When I was a child, I can remember Tottenham lifting it. I can remember Liverpool lifting it like it was the next best thing in world football, close to the European Cup. That trophy alone deserves a higher standard than what it's got. And I think a lot of people just, unfortunately, do look down on it a little bit. Whether you're from a big club, deserve to be in it, whatever. I just don't think it's got the prestige like it used to.
Well, we'll see. We'll see whether Villa win the Conference League. We'll see who wins the FA Cup after Coventry bowed out yesterday in the most dramatic of circumstances. But thank you very much, everybody, for watching. 28 more days of Moyes. We're there. We're nearly there. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support. From me, come on your irons, up the Villa from Josh, and whatever them lot do down the lane, I don't even know. And we'll see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Pleasure as always, boys. Thank you very much.
Cheers. See you later.
See you soon. Bye-bye.